Hello YouTube. How are you today? I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. My hair looks fantastic, as does the skyline. But the Wall Street Journal has other ideas. As an employment attorney, I like to stay up on employment related articles, and a friend of mine sent me this gem from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is saying that you as an employee are responsible for inflation in this country. And I gotta tell you, that's wild to me, right? First, they said it was the pandemic. I started making videos about inflation. Then, they said it was temporary. Then they said it was scarcity because of the supply chain. Then it was Putin's fault. The inflation was Putin's fault. He did it, right? He did a lot of bad things. Why not inflation too? And then they said the inflation was about to end. Remember that? It's over. It's peaked. It's not going to get any worse. Now they're trying out it being your fault. Fascinated. Tell me more. How did you cause inflation? What have you done? The Wall Street Journal goes on to say that about 32% of the people who have changed jobs recently received at least an 11% raise. That is astonishing. And 22% of the people who changed jobs actually received sizable signing bonuses. That's incredible. So people are making lateral moves to new jobs and getting big raises and fat checks in the form of signing bonuses, right? That sounds incredible to me. It sounds like every employment attorney's dream. Employees earning more. And it's kind of really notable that if you stay in your job, if you're not making those lateral moves, your wages are only going up 5.3%, which, as we know, is actually not in keeping with the current rate of inflation. So your wages, although they did go up 5.3%, your earning power went down. I mean, it's of note here, the consumer price index in the same period went up 8.5%. So if you got a raise for staying at your company, a retention raise of 5.3%, you're actually earning less today than before the pandemic started. That's wild. That's insane. But how dare you make that lateral move? How dare you go out and secure that 11% or more with a signing bonus? It's pushing inflation. And this is where it gets really wild. So the Wall Street Journal, and they printed this, they said that 27% of economists say that wage growth poses the biggest inflationary risk this year. 27% of economists. I wonder if those 27% of economists could be the same economists who were pushing modern monetary theory and who were saying that it's perfectly fine for the government to print all the money it wants. It won't impact the valuation of the dollar. So the government should just keep printing money and giving it to rich people and not worry about devaluing the pensions and the salaries and the hourly rate of the average worker. I wonder if it's those same 27%. Seems a little questionable to me, given that printing all that money, all those trillions of dollars we printed and gave to wealthy people in the form of PPP loans and grants and large payments to the pharmaceutical industry. I wonder if they're a little worried about the result of what they claim as inflation gets out of hand, right? So it's a very interesting thing. Generally the Wall Street Journal is a pretty good publication. I don't mean to attack the messenger here. There's nothing wrong with them reporting what economists are saying, right? They don't really take a position agreeing with the economists necessarily. I just think, well, I don't have a lot of respect for those 27% of economists who seem to be taking a stance that you shouldn't be making a lateral move because it's bad for the country. It's bad for inflation. You should be happy with what you've got and stay put. Doesn't really sound like a free market. Doesn't really sound like the American dream. Sounds like a corporatist dream. Sounds like business owners would be thrilled with that attitude. But honestly, when you print, I think, a third or 40% of all the money in the world in the span of about 2 years, you just make 30% more money. I'm not sure that you get to point fingers at people getting 11% raises when they lateral to a better job and say, oh, you're causing inflation. Yeah, no, stop. No one's buying this. No one's reading this and saying, I better stay put. It's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And these economists should be figuratively tarred and feathered. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was interesting. If it was, consider liking and subscribing. It does help me to help more people just like you.